Oh, here we go. This is a game I've been very critical of for a long time. Star Citizen reportedly let go of more staff shortly after CitizenCon wrapped up. It would seem as if the shaky Squadron 42 prologue shared during this year's CitizenCon has caused some firings to occur, or at least that's the presumption, as a now former member of CIG's staff has reported that another round of layoffs has impacted the Star Citizen developer. According to Insider Gaming, developer is that Gil Adesio has claimed on Twitter that CIG is letting go, quote, letting go of staff has been letting go of staff over the last 2 days. Claims that those impacted are receiving zero compensation rights after working them to the bone without even as much as a thanks. A reference to the fact that developers were forced into unpaid overtime to get CitizenCon ready. He expects CIG to make a formal announcement soon. Iodesio's Twitter account has since been locked, so we cannot verify this specific statement, but he does have a Blue Sky account that continues to report upset staff who have reached out to him. He also claims that the account locking was a result of hugely negative brain rot. Insider Gaming is reporting from anonymous sources within CIG that most of the firings have affected QA staff and have affected about a dozen employees. While this represents a small fraction of CIG's total workforce, the targeted department is certainly eyebrow-raising. And the firings come after CIG has raked in over $750 million in crowdfunding for this spaceship sandbox. $750 million crowdfunded for this game. This is well over what most AAA companies put into a project. Double to triple the amount quite often. And this game still doesn't have a full release, which was supposed to be out in 2014. They are still releasing alpha modules. Let me show you. Here you go. Shut up. So, this game, Star Citizen, led by Chris Roberts, if anybody knows who that is, was announced via a private crowdfunding page in September of 2012. Almost 13 years ago. Well, no, 12 years ago. A little over 12 years ago. Followed on October 18th by a successful Kickstarter campaign which drew in over $2 million. Pre-production of this game began in 2010, so 14 years ago, with production starting 13 years ago. The launch of the game was anticipated for 2014, but has been repeatedly delayed. There is still not a full release of this game a decade later. They are still releasing, albeit playable, alpha modules. For a game, let me pull this down here. These are the modules that they have that you can play, but it's still, it's not a full game. They don't really tie in together and stuff. Where is their amount that they've pulled in so far? Crowdfunding right here. So let's just get to it. Funding from backers exceeded $300 million in June of 2020, surpassed $400 million in November of 2021, and $500 million in September of 2022. The current number of backers is unknown, and it does not equal the advertised counter Star Citizens. There's also been private funding of $46 million. An additional $17.25 million investment was received, raising the private funding to $63 million. So, again, the $500 million of Kickstarter was of 2 years ago, guys. So at this point, like they said in the article, over $750 million in crowdfunding alone for this game, as well as probably close to another $70 million in private funding, quickly approaching that $1 billion mark, and this game doesn't even have a full release. They're fans of this software that I have spoken to. They think what is playable is good, and I respect that. I've heard other people say that employees are treated well, which, you know, maybe they were in the past, but it does not seem like employees are being treated very well nowadays, according to, you know, if the information in this article is correct. You know, it seems like a lot of that is going down the drain. And people, you know, they find all kinds of ways to try and defend Star Citizen. And I can only assume that you would probably want to defend and believe with everything in you that this is going to eventually become something fully released if you've been a backer of this to any extent. In concept, you know, this seemed like a very, very cool. I remember when it first, you know, was being announced and everything, it was very intriguing. But as time has moved on, again, you know, we're over $800 million in to how much they have obtained, mostly from backers for this product, and there's still not a full release. I can't help but think that there's been a lot of scope creep here. People running this project don't know how to kind of reel it in, pull those reins a little bit and go, yo, we got a lot of good ideas, but we need to focus in on getting something fully released here for our fans and community and backers, and then work on adding additional content after the fact, right? It seems like they have a really hard time doing that. And the people that have invested in this deserved a long time ago to have a fully released product to dive into. It's a weird situation. Again, yeah, like Pinky, how can you expect literally anyone to make a game with at least $1 billion budget? Yeah, wild, right? Yeah. So obviously being facetious there. It's just beyond me. You know, it feels bad for the fans. It feels bad for, you know, the people that were invested in this at any point in time, the people that are still invested in this. And it continues to look like they're having problems, unfortunately. It's just insane how much money they've had to invest in this product, and they're still not a full release for people to enjoy. That sucks so bad.